If you can turn on, you turn on. I do not know, and I don't find this very reliable. I actually do not know all these things.
Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So these are called constraints, and then the set of all x that satisfies these constraints, that is called a feasible set, and normally I denote it by T. So this is feasible set. Okay, so it's a set of all feasible solutions. What are feasible solutions? Why do we call it solution? And these are set of all x that satisfy those system of equations and inequations. So that's why they call it solutions. And basically it is a set, subset. Okay, and sometimes that set is empty. If the set is empty, then it is called an inconsistent problem. So you don't really have to do anything. Okay, so that is what it is. And this one is called objective function. This one is called objective function. And these are called constant. Okay, so this is objective function, feasible set, feasible solution. Normally these functions f, gi, g1, g2, gm, and h1, h2, hp, they are all assumed to be very nice functions, like continuous or continuously differentiable, those kind of functions. Okay, so that's what is written over here. And it is called inconsistent if the set T is empty. Otherwise it is called consistent. What is called inconsistent? Now the problem that is given to you is called inconsistent. If the set is empty, then you really do not have to do anything. I mean, that's the set is empty. Okay, now if the functions, all the functions, the objective functions and the constraints, all these functions, if they are linear functions are functions of the form like c1 x1 plus c2 x2 plus c3 x3 plus a constant maybe. You really do not, the constants do not do anything to maximize or minimize. So so they are linear functions. Functions of that form are called linear functions. So in that case the problem is called a linear programming problem. Otherwise it is called a non-linear programming problem. Okay, then comes the definition of when I'm scrolling these things are visible. Now these definition of global absolute minimum, all these things, are they visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Okay, so how do you define this local minimum maximum? That you must have done in your calculus course, definitely. Still, if you actually,
yes, sir, that is visible.
yeah, so those things you already know. Still, if you want to say if A is a point of local minimum of f over a certain set S, okay, over S, if say then there exists some b delta A, this is the ball of radius delta around A, such that x belongs to b delta A intersection over this set S, b delta A intersection S. This implies fx is greater than equal to fa. So that kind of a thing, local minimum. Then you have definition of absolute minimum. So there the delta is kind of infinite. Okay, and similarly you have strict local minimum, strict local maximum, everything. Okay, that kind of definition. Okay, where do these optimization problem find their applications? I mean, practically almost everywhere. Few of the classic problems I will write here. Tell you one or two classical problems I will tell here. One of them is the Heron's problems. What does this say? I mean, we are not going to solve it. I will tell. I mean, you can easily solve it. These are not I mean that difficult. But this is to give you an impression that see optimization problems are there everywhere. So what is it? Now suppose you have a line, and then there are some 2 points. Okay, so call it A, call it B, call this point B. Given any point X over the line, then there is a distance. If you travel from A to X and X to B, so that is your function dx. Now, so then the question is minimize dx subject to X belonging to L, if this is the line. So what is the dx? Now dx is equal to dax, that is plus dbx, where d stands for the distance. You can call this fx also, that is fine. So basically you want to minimize, so you want to find the point x on the line, given 2 points A and B outside that line and a line. You want to find out a point x naught where this is the minimum. So that is the classical Heron's problem. Similarly, an optimization problem in algebra, from which you can deduce the arithmetic geometric mean inequality, is to maximize, so for example, in R4, is to maximize the product of x1, x2, x3, x4 subject to x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 equal to 5, xi greater than equal to 0. So we want to find out that. So this set is a compact set. Okay, so this is a quadrilateral that has the corners 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 5, 0, and 0, 0, 0, 5. Okay, that's the quadrilateral. Okay, you will find that. So it's a closed bounded set. It's a compact set. The function is a continuous function, so it will have a maximum and a minimum. Okay, so you find that's what. A minimum you don't have to. For example, so minimum will be 0 anyway. I mean, since each point has non-negative coordinates, so the functional value of at each point is greater than equal to 0, and at 5, 0, 0, 0 it is 0. So minimum will be 0 anyway. So, and you can derive the arithmetic mean geometric mean inequality after solving this. Okay, so therefore you do not use arithmetic mean geometric mean to solve this problem. Okay, similarly you have others. The ones that I have given plus, for example, this one or this one, the plus means it's a must. You should do it. Okay. Another example is the Snell's law, and another example is the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. So that says if you define the difference, and then where is it minimized? Okay. So the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality says that x inner product y absolute value is always less than equal to x norm y norm, and if you want to take the minimums, then what do you get it? Okay, so those are some few of the applications that we are indicating, and more applications we'll see as we keep on discussing. There are 2 or 3 exercises that I have over here. Those who are interested, you can try it. Okay. Now the modeling. See, in order to when you get a practical problem will come like a practical problem, in the sense that it will not be like stated as a like in a mathematical form, as an MPP, as a mathematical programming problem. So in order to solve it, you first have to model it as a mathematical problem. So for that there are 3 steps. The step 1 is you have to identify the variables, then you have to write the objective functions, and then you have to write the constraints. For example, let's see a linear model. So here what says, so that here the problem says that doctors advise me to take a minimum of 10 mg of vitamin A and 10 mg of vitamin B and 18 mg of vitamin C daily. Okay, and there are two types of pills available in the market. So pill A, there are two types of pills. One is red, one is blue. Red pill contains 4 units of 4 mg, you can say, of A, 2 mg of B, 2 of C, and the cost is 1. Blue pill contains 2 of A, 4 of B, 18 of C, and the cost is 2. Now, what amount of pills, which pills do you have to take to meet the requirements and while minimizing the cost? So then you have to first identify the variable. So here variables are very clear. You take R, the variable, see this is the number of red pills, and then B, you take the number of blue pills. Okay, so if you take R, this thing, then the cost that you will be paying is like 1 times R, so R plus 2B, that is the cost, and that you have to minimize over what? Now look, if you have taken R times R amount of red, and that gives 4, each red pill gives 4 units of A content, so then the A content should be 4R plus twice B, and that should be 10 mg of vitamin A, that is the minimum, so that should be greater than equal to 10. And similarly, if the B content is 2R plus 4B, and that should be greater than equal to 10, this 10 mg of vitamin B, of this 10. And then 18 mg of vitamin C, so vitamin C would be like 2R plus 18B, and that should be greater than equal to 18. And then what are the numbers? Okay, R and B, they are greater than equal to 0. So this is the mathematical formulation that you will get. Okay, nonlinear model, one example of nonlinear model. So here is a gambler that has 2,000 rupees to like play, and then there are 3 places of stake. Okay, so that is given in the table, place 1, place 2, place 3, and then there will be 3 outcomes. Okay, depending on the outcome, the return per unit is shown on the table. In what way the gambler should play in order to maximize the minimum return. Okay, so see, you have to identify the variable. Now to identify the variable, it is very clearly written that there are 3 places for stake. So then you write R1 amount for place 1, and then similarly R2 for place 2, and then R3 for place 3. This is the amount that he is going to spend. In that case, what is going to happen? R1 plus R2 plus R3 is going to be 2,000. Okay, that is one constraint. Now, what happens if the outcome is 1? Now, if the outcome is 1, then his return will be minus 5 R1 plus R2 plus R3. If the outcome is 1. Okay, and if the outcome is 2, then his return would be minus 7 R1 plus 6 R2 plus 10 R3. And what happens if the outcome is 3? Now, if the outcome is 3, then his return is 13 R1 plus, sorry, not plus, this is minus 2 R2 minus 6 R3. So these are the returns in case of outcome 1, outcome 2, outcome 3, and he's looking for the minimum return. So you will have to find the minimum of these 3. That is the minimum. So this is your fx. So what is x? Now x coordinate is like r1, r2, r3. Okay, or if you like, so what is x? Okay, you write. Okay, let me write this as f of r. Okay, so this is your fx, and that you have to maximize. This one subject to what constraint? Now subject to the constraint r1 plus r2 plus r3 is equal to 2000. Then each ri is greater than equal to 0. That is all. These are the constants. Now since your fr is a minimum of 3 different functions, so this is your f1r, this is f2r, this is f3r, 3 different linear functions. This one is linear. The first one f1r is linear, second one is linear, third one is linear, but minimum of 2 linear functions is not linear. Okay, so that is not linear. That is very easy to see. And so this fr is a nonlinear function. This one is a nonlinear function, and you want to maximize subject to this. The constraint is linear, that is fine, but the function, objective function, is not linear. So this is the example of a nonlinear problem. But you can convert it to a linear problem. Now what do you do? Now you have to bring this objective function down. Now how do I do that? Now you write z equal to, okay, so then what I am going to do, I am going to maximize this fr. Okay, so then what I am going to do, I will write this as maximize z, something like this, subject to what? Now z has to be less than equal to minus 5 r1 plus r2, because z is the minimum, plus r3, and z is also less than equal to minus 7 r1 plus 6 r2 plus 10 r3, and z is also less than equal to 13 r1 minus 2 r2 minus 6 r3, and then I have r1 plus r2 plus r3 equal to 2000, and ri greater than equal to 0. If I do this, what is the difference? Look, on the top, the first one was a problem in 3 variables. The variable was r1, r2, r3. Right now, the second one is a problem in 4 variables. This one is actually, let me write, g of r1, r2, r3, z, and that g, objective function g, is z, just z. Okay, and this one you can write, this one you can write as like minus 5 r1 plus r2 plus r3 minus z greater than equal to 0. That will be in that format. Okay, similarly the second one can be, so this one is minus 5 r1 plus r2 plus r3 minus z greater than equal to 0. So what you, in this way, what you are doing now, okay, you are writing the first problem in the form of, I mean, in the form of a linear programming problem by introducing a new variable. Okay, so the first problem was in 3 variables. However, this one is in 4 variables, but nevertheless this is linear because the objective function and the constraints all are linear. Okay, here are some exercises. Give me a moment. अच्छा ठीक है, आप यहाँ पे छोड़ के जा सकते हैं. हाँ हाँ, मैं अभी क्लास में हूँ. Okay, so these are some exercises. You can try to do the modeling on few of them. I have this one. This one is a plus. You should do. Some of them are. This one is a plus. You can try. Optimal location is a bit difficult, but if you want to try, you can try. This one is a good one. Okay, that is okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, will the plus be marked when you give us the PDF?
This PDF only. Whatever I am doing the modification, with the modification, that PDF I will be sharing.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
So like this will be visible. Okay. And it will be posted. Okay, I will not send an as email. It will be posted here. You can download. Okay.
Sir.
Yeah. The graphical method. This is the very fast simplistic approach. Okay, and it can work for nonlinear objective functions, a bit of nonlinear I mean sets that are determined by nonlinear functions, but the only problem is that it works only with 2 variables, and at best with 3 variables if you can imagine it. Beyond that it becomes difficult. Okay, so what is it? Now I will give the, so whenever somebody says, okay, solve this by graphical method, solve minimize fx over a feasible region T, then what you are supposed to do now, you are first supposed to plot the feasible region. So for example, in this one, the example, I will first plot the feasible region. So this is x1 square plus x2 square equal to 1. So I will plot the feasible region first. So that is a circle. Okay, so that we have, that is a circle. Fine, just the points on the circle, and it says x greater than equal to 0. So then this is actually the upper part of the circle. Okay, not yeah, this part, x greater than equal to 0. So I will have x coordinate greater than equal to 0, y coordinate greater than equal to 0. It is the first quadrant. So this is the x greater than equal to 0. I am looking at the first quadrant. Okay, so that is it. Yes. One moment. Okay, so then what? Now, okay, that is the feasible region I have done. Then draw the graph of fx equal to k. Here for example, I have fx is equal to x1 plus x2. So I have to draw a graph for x1 plus x2 equal to k. What can I will like choose your k? So I will choose x1 plus x2 equal to 0. So x1 plus x2 equal to 0 is a line of this form. So this is x1 plus x2 equal to some k. What k? K is suitable. Here it is 0. Then what? Now observe the minimum value of k for which both the graphs overlap. That means, see, look, if I increase the value of k, what will happen? You will get a parallel line. Now you go on increasing the value of k. Right now we are looking at this maximization problem. Okay, it is the maximize. So you go on changing k, then think there will be, you will find finally one k that will touch this, and you will have this kind of a situation. So the graphical method says that you change the value of k, and you first observe for what value of k. If you are minimizing, then what minimum value of k this the graph of the objective function fx equal to k and t, they intersect. If you are maximizing, then you see for what maximum value of k the objective function fx equal to k, that graph, and the t that intersect. So here we have this. So what I believe I will be having the maximization point over here. Now, so how do I find out what is that point and how do I justify? Now, what I know is that this straight line has slope -1, and because it is a circle, the line that passes from the center to that, this is a tangent, therefore this will be 90 degree. Okay, this angle will be 90 degree, and therefore this particular line slope, because it is -1, this one slope will be +1. So that means on this line x1 will be equal to x2. Okay, because it passes through the origin also. Slope 1 passes through origin, so this line's equation will be x1 equal to x2, and therefore this is a point on the circle that has both positive coordinates, both equal, and therefore they have to be, this point has to be 1/√2, 1/√2. So that is the justification. So you have to argue by saying, okay, this tangent line has slope -1, therefore the normal, so that will have slope 1. So the point that this particular point will have both x and y coordinates same, and therefore this particular point will have coordinates 1/√2, 1/√2, because it satisfies x1 square plus x2 square equal to 1. And so the maximum value of x1 plus x2, that will be 2/√2, that's √2, that will be √2. So that is how you solve, and then you write the justification also. Okay, and not just your guess, but the justification, that is also another part. Okay, so here are a few more exercises. For example, let's see the minimize x1 plus x2 such that x1 is less than equal to 1, x2 is less than equal to 1, and xi are greater than equal to 0. There is nothing in this this thing. You are, see, everything is greater than equal to 0. You want to minimize, it will be 0 only. But then the idea by graphical method, when I am saying you do it by graphical method, what you are supposed to do? Now you are first supposed to draw the feasible set. What is the feasible set? Now the feasible set is x1 is less than equal to 1, x2 is less than equal to 1, xi are greater than equal to 0. So this is the feasible set. Okay, this is 0, 0 origin, this is 0, 0, this is 1, 0, this is 1, 1. Okay, so this is a feasible set. Now what is the objective function? The objective function is fx equal to x1 plus x2. So if you want to draw x1 plus x2 equal to 1, you want to draw x1 plus x2 equal to 1, then x1 plus x2 equal to 1 will be this line. Again has slope -1. And then, so this is x1 plus x2 equal to 1. You don't have to draw a line that passes through this. I mean, in order to understand, you could simply draw x1 plus x2 equal to -1 also. That will be far outside and it will look, make your picture look better. Okay, this you can also draw this. So then this is, and if you want to take this particular line, now this particular line is x1 plus x2 equal to 2. So there the value of k has increased, and here what you are trying to get, now you are trying to minimize x1 plus x2, and therefore your line must come in the other direction. So you understand that the line that will have the last, I mean just finally the line that will touch the feasible set and will have this intersection, I mean, so that will be x1 plus x2 equal to 0. Okay, and that passes through 0, 0. Okay, so that is the only point of the feasible set, because all of them are, because all these xi's are greater than equal to 0, and x1 plus x2 equal to 0, it follows that x1 is equal to 0 and x2 equal to 0. That's how. Okay, so that is how you argue. That is the pictures. These are the pictures you do. You can have many more exercises. All these exercises are very, very interesting. You can try. All of them are very interesting. I mean, nothing is very non-trivial or something. So all of them you try. Okay, try one or two, no problem. But like your exam problems will be of this type only. Okay, so for today I have made this much to explain. If you want to ask some questions or want me to repeat something, I can tell. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
And
Yes,
the slides are visible now, whatever I am showing.
Yes, they are visible.
Okay. So tell if you want me to explain something extra, or
It was fine, sir.
it was fine. So actually what happened, so today I was not very sure how the things will go and how much problems I will face. So that is why I had kept a little bit less today. And I also thought that the number of students attending today might be a little less. So that is why from next time onwards, I will go a little bit, I mean, we'll cover a little bit more. Okay. Let me tell this one, since you people are here. Let me tell. Okay, let me talk about this example. That see MGM inequality. See the thing. So is it visible, the problem? MGM inequality.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Good. So suppose that somebody asks me to, if somebody asks me to minimize, the minimize is like, as I said, it is 0. So I don't have to do anything. I can easily argue that the minimum value is this. The maximum value, that I understand, but the way I want to do it is the following. Say, suppose that, see, understand that this particular set is going to look like a quadrilateral, some 4 points. Okay, this one is 5, 0, 0, 0. It is in R4 though. Fine, no problem. 0, 5, 0, 0, and then 0, 0, 5, 0, and then this is 0, 0, 0, 5, and then we'll have all this. Okay, and all convex combination. Remember, if I say x1 plus x2 equal to 5, what do you get? Now you get the line segment that joins 5, 0 and 0, 5. Okay, in R2, if I say x1 plus x2 equal to 5, you get something like this. This is 5, 0, and this is 0, 5. In R3, if I say this, then it is the triangular plate that you will get with vertices 5, 0, 0, 0, 5, 0, and then another one just on the top of the origin, 0, 0, 5. Okay, and that triangular plate, anything on that plate will do. For example, here anything on this line segment will satisfy x1 plus x2 equal to 5, right? So similarly here you will have that kind of a thing. So everything on this doesn't matter. So what my set is a closed bounded set, and so it is a compact set. Okay. Now, because it is a compact set and this particular function is a continuous function, fx, so x is a 4 variable, this thing, x is a variable in R4, so 4 component variable. So fx equal to x1, x2, x3, x4, it's a continuous function that we already know. So because it is a continuous function over a compact set, it will attain its minimum and maximum. So it is going to attain its maximum. That part is sure. It is guaranteed that it will attain its maximum. So suppose that it attains its maximum. Let me write over here. Suppose that it attains its maximum at some point, let's say x1, x2, x3, x4. Suppose this is the point where it attains its maximum, and assume that x1 is not equal to x2. Suppose. In that case, what do you do? Now, in that case, assume that, so assume x1 is not equal to x2. Okay, this side is a different thing. So if x1 is not equal to x2, then what I am proposing now, I am proposing to do the following. So the x1, x2 contribute x1 plus x2 to the whole, to that 5. So you write x1 plus x2 by 2, and then x1 plus x2 by 2, and keep x3 and keep x4. Now see what is the value over here. Now the value over here will be x1 plus x2 whole square, x3, x4, and then you have by 4. That's what you have. And earlier what you had? Now earlier you had x1, x2, x3, x4. Okay. Now this now notice this one. We already know this, right? A plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. So x plus k into x minus k, that is always less than equal to x square. So if I take this as alpha, so this is my alpha, and this one is something like alpha minus beta, and one is alpha plus beta. Okay, that's how it is. What is